No, we didn't check then. Swear to God, we finna get all this money. Watch what I tell you.
Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, glitter scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean every day they so. Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, glitter scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean. And I say I shit. I gotta say I shit. I shit. And I say I shit. Elegba, Osho, and Obatala. And I say I shit. Mokio. I shit. And I say I shit. And Oya, and Shango, and Gimoja. I got it, currency in my pocket, nature around my neck, front and center, I rock it. Never tuck them, so folk wanna touch them, they need to stop it. Trying to find them on lines like mine, you never cop it. My Eleke is living, reason why I be winning. Jealous of my position, but I'm just at the beginning. Demonizing the forces, no intercourses I'm giving. Christians feel like I'm sinning the way the heavens be bending for me. Ay, I'm in the flow, I get the dough, I'm giving more, it's reciprocal. Every dose could be poison or be medicinal. Truth is blatant to those who know what to listen for. Yeah, a treasure chest in every mic check. Steady in that altitude and we ain't on the flight yet. Calling me the champion, I ain't even won the fight yet. Who just sticking to us for that juju that they might get. Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, glitter scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean every day they so. Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, glitter scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean. And I say I share. Somebody say I share. I share. And I say I share. Egongo, Babaluaye, and Ita. And I say I share. I share. And I say I share. Ojosi, Ogun, and Orumila.
I got them holy beads around my neck. Them sacred guides on deck. Yep, biggest protection all around. Kosi Wahala, big blessings abound. I'm open to receive all the things. This universe is laid at my feet and I'm walking. Yellow brick road and laid with gold. Oh yeah, I get it from my mama. She reigning on her throne. La de Koju, Oriye Oshun. Hell, sweet water goddess. Keep that blade and some honey. Lord, she just keep going. Hold the stop when she gets started. A river flowing, anointed from head to toe. Baptized, got Orisha by my side. And my eagle all around. Ain't nothing stopping me now. Full force on them. Full glow on them. Spirit realm said go, so I move for them. A walking altar.
And I say I share. 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 Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, glitter scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean every day they so. Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, glitter scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean.
Yeah, let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo! We didn't hit them, Baba. 10, 2, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. God. 20. Good day. Who this messing my count up? Alive for you, bruh. I told you we was gonna hit. Yeah. Shoot, I'm counting me and Baba out right now. I'm waiting on Sunday to come out, hit her. We good. She finding out right now. We checking in. Hold on. Good. About to hit him again.
This Ty here, RBG. Repatriation the situation. I just want to let y'all know I hear all that shit y'all talking. You know in your heart of hearts you can't fuck with this. You knows that. I'm tripping. Y'all knows that. Let's start talking. Let's get into it. Well, hold up, what they talking about? I hear you. Matter of fact, fuck all that they talking about. Fuck all that yakety yak, wanna run they mouth. Machete clappity clap, oh goon, run them out. Cross border, show say arrow, hunt them down. Babaloo, I ain't clean off, it ain't nothing now. 30,000 in the air, my phone still on. Writing rhymes, earphones, with the kill on. Get the skill on, little homie, the real on. EI's getting the chill on, watch him to get my mill on. Take a stand in the wreck, get my build on you. You disrespect the whole set and get your skill on. Well, do where you can, get your bill on. Debit card swipe up performance is getting tighter. I'm older and plus I'm nicer the most unit I sip on. Most of y'all skip the protocol. Trip on forces and slip, bust your head. Train of thought wreck, you there, didn't do what y'all we goon said. Now it's cold red, skeptics is begging to get my heel on. Back like I never left, proper like a sweater vest. I'm the ancestors' favorite rapper, Megadeth. True. No guitars though. Just a hard flow. True. Ice is priest on these beats as far as bars go. A Joshua Eli's on my chest as far as scars go. Stars go to Fargo, stand and rock for photo ops. Bypass their own hood like they don't know the block. Faking culture shots like they forgot them struggles. All the photo when that muzzle blast cats be like. Suffering for sucker attaches beats, concrete, street with sophistication. Repat nation, we deep, baby. Plus it's RBG certified. Fly like the butter with the golden box cutter. Hello, yeah. She's so flirtatious. Smile like the Nile, her booty so outrageous. Classic yet refreshing, just to know you is a blessing. Peach snaps and the flukes, here's a toast to patience. Oh yeah, a closed mouth don't get fed. She came to bed and woke up with your moja on her head. I just want to see the fam blossom. Inhibitions, I lost them, I'm feeling awesome. My shit. Oh man, Sundiata, I told you they weren't fucking with me, car. Yeah.
You need to ask yourself that. Why do you eat food? You need to ask yourself, what is food? Because we got consumables, as acidic, dry, whatever you want to call it, and then we got alkaline, wet, real food. We got fake food and we got real food. Now, you growing up in this world, I don't know how old you is. If you my age, you 20, you 28, 29, we is the last ones to know what real is. These jits don't know what real is because they being raised on the fake. So they put the germ in the seed. Roundup ready. They put the germ in the seed. They got fake seeds. So I'm telling you, this is war.
Yeah.
This is fucking war. You got to learn the real and you got to decipher from the fake because it's getting hard to tell. And that's my message.
family business. Young yacht on the beat. See me around the VMC. They motherfucking family. Believe that. VMC. Pew, pew, pew. In the trunk, that thumper. On my side, that fold. Yes, sir. No disrespect to my Nina, cause my two games so sporty. If it starts with a letter, better believe it's a key. RPG around the barrel, that's why I call it a reaper. So please don't try to run, the missiles will he see you. It will be a close casket, then the words from the preacher. He was at the funeral last week, but the words didn't reach him. Should've made the words to a rap song, bumped through some speakers, so I keep it on 100. No percent of talk about drums. It'll beat it up from the back, so trying to run. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. They say hate is like good drug. If you do it once, you do it again. I really ain't got time. Been the cut counting these Benjamins with no money. Count them, my hands do just fine. You believe in this body bag if you choose to cross that line. It's a thin line between love and hate, so I left them on flat line. It's a thin line between love and hate, so I left them on flat line. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds.
Bobby and T, we handle our biz, so I know by now you know what it is. And if you do not, I'ma let you know this. We bumping through speakers, you're running your lips. Wait, freeze, hold up, stop. The big man on campus, you know that it's rock. No, I ain't new to this, ain't with no foolishness. You want to throw your balloon and get popped. Don't really care if you like me or not. Climbing the ladder, you straight to the top. Still a gorilla, ain't throwing no barrels. I'm loading the barrels while I lick off a shot. No, I am no sparrow, my eyes on the knot. Counting for the fam, put it in the pot. I'm in Nirvana with blessing the mic. When I'm on the road, you know I'm a rock. And when you hear that Huey, you know that's QC. I'm coming down the lane like a freight train. Yeah, 2, 3. King James and y'all lanes in the back of your sweat seat. Juicy, y'all paperweight, that's loose leaf. I'm 2 stacks, that's 2G, and I'm gone.
Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Black power up in your power ain't like insufficient funds. Yeah, level up daily. Yes, sir. Fuck you, baby. This shit ain't gravy, man. We walk this shit every day. Not a trend, not a fad. Never. Stand on that square. Be about this family business. Hear me? Always. Kings and gods and goddesses. Queens. We the greatest. Greatness walking. Like first. Fuck all the talking. You rock VMC. Rock VMC. Know that. Rock VMC.
assault against African centeredness is increasing in size and magnitude. There's a lot of fear in our community. There's a lot of need to be validated and loved by enemies in our community. There's a lot of need to run from who you are because it is something that you despise. Self-hatred and menticide are deep, and it seems like they're growing deeper. But what I see in front of me tells me that it's not victorious. If there's one person sitting here, then that means that we haven't lost. We have a lot of work to do, and we need to focus our attention on our children because they're the ones who are the primary targets right now on this issue and every other issue of insanity. It turns us into somebody who we are not. If we're going to win, we have to produce warriors.
Initiated, student of the EWA, so baptized by the warrior teachers. I'm training, learning how to shoot the gauge while you burning safe, playing video games. This message here is for the RPG brigade. Shed blood, bring peace, that's the warrior's way. Libation is the blood, sweat, and tears. Ibaye, Ashe, I'm bringing death to the quiz. I wanna live, so I die for the kids. Black smack gangsters coming home from bids. Free your dome, you only hard to kill your own. A straight race traitor, the white man's clone. Marita man, I'ma continue to plan. Choke the life out of a cracker with my bare hands. That's my word, my deed, and my thought. From sun up to sundown, true warriors fought.
This needs to be emulated everywhere we are at. Those people who are calling themselves warriors, well, the root word of warrior is war. And either you're playing games and trying to be a fake thug, or you really are about the business of protecting your community because you realize that we are at war. And you act like we are at war, not like we are at peace.
Firm handshake, look a brother in the eye so I can tell if he fake. I can see through the disguise if he got a forked tongue, speaking disrespectful lies. Asata Baba Baruchi, respect him cause he wise. Dropping wisdom on the pages, so stand up and be courageous. Our enemies engaging with grenades and shotty gauges, with machetes, with the razors, with the stick or with the stone or bare knuckles to their faces. Got a hatred for the races, other times are for the traitors. Won't forget about the lynchings, how they fed us to the gators. Real gangsters protect their neighbors, won't betray us for some paper. Our secrets keep it sacred, our legacy's the greatest. Stay the greatest, cause they haters, they some haters. I drop it like an anchor with the hopes that it'll change us. The artificial flavors, you wanna be a player while they hanging. So which team you playing for, the underdog or for the face?
Warriors are supposed to be about the business of defending those people in their community. They're supposed to be about the business of making people comfortable, giving them a safe space. People say warriors are healers, and they are. Sometimes healing is that tough love thing where you got to handle people in a particular way. But our job is to make it so that our people have all obstacles removed from their way in being African.
Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Knowledge Born What's the Science. We're here after midnight because it's the after midnight edition. Okay. It's been a minute since we've been here. A lot of things going on, a lot of things happening. So we're going to have an interesting conversation today. So if you have something you would like us to respond to, would like for us to promote, then y'all need to come on in and tell a friend that we are online. You know, I just had to make sure that the airways was clear. You know, A lot of stuff been going on. A lot of stuff been said. So this is something you can depend on. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see that? It's a brand name right here. You know, like Blue Magic. Through Knowledge Radio. Y'all see it. This gold continent shining, not just a coast. You know, they showed like a gold coast when they was talking about the Western Hemisphere of Africa, the Western area of Africa, the Gold Coast, you know. So Through the Knowledge Radio is the microphone, the speaker box for Africa at home and abroad. So, you know, get a chance to see it. Finally on me, you know, I've been seeing some people, you know, a couple of different places across the United States with this and a couple of places across the globe. Wherever African people are, this is where the symbol needs to be right here. So I just want y'all to see it real quick. Okay. Limited edition joint right here. You know? It says a place where knowledge is born. Okay. So y'all know I can't do this after midnight edition without having the reason for the season come back to the microphone. It's been a little minute, couple of weeks, and we have the illest in the building. You know, she is the illest. So let's welcome to the microphone a divine one, a warrior, Sass, aka the illest.
Damn, Sass, where you been? I've been minding my business. I've been minding my business, being unbiased, trying to be friends with everybody, doing the most. Shalom. Shalom. Where you been?
I gotta do it like they be doing. They be like, give thanks. Shalom. Give thanks.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, on Players Anthem, it was like, how you living, Biggie Smalls? I'm surrounded by criminals, heavy rollers, even them shiesty individuals. Yes. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Talk about it, Big.
I'm surrounded by criminals, heavy rollers, even them shiesty individuals.
He was doing mad shade. Y'all thought it was dope. Like, oh my God, he can't believe he said that. No, he was doing shade, and I'm for it. Like, I'm here for it, and I understand totally what that means, and I'm okay with it. I will sit amongst you, but I see you. I see you.
See
exactly.
You. Heavy rollers, even shiesty
I'll let you sit next to Exactly.
Smoking skunk and mad Phillies, beating down Billy badasses, cracks and stacks and masses. You know what I'm saying? That's why he been talking. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a sermon right there. And that was the first time I heard Lil' Kim spit. You know what I mean? Whether she wrote it or she didn't, I don't know. I don't care. She ripped it. She ripped it.
Said she wrote it, and I believe her. She said she wrote it. I believe her.
You know what I'm saying? I right, and because she spit it like she wrote it. You know what I mean? Like when you're reading somebody else's stuff, you know. Yeah.
Oh, they say, because it sounds like something big. Well, I mean, that was a homie. I mean, she was around them all the time.
Right.
I mean, come on, give me a break.
And she spit it. She spit it like it was every single word. Like Like, we wrote it on paper back then. So she wrote it on the
Yeah.
paper. Used to pack,
Right.
and then she looked at the paper and got mad, like, with the mad face. I used to pack Macs and Cadillacs. Now I pimp Gats and Ag. Watch my niggas act. I was like, I could feel it. You know what I mean? I was like, ooh, who the fuck is? I don't even know who this is. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That was Kimberly. That's right.
Yeah, we was
Kimberly.
out joyriding. You know what I'm saying? And somebody Acura. You know what I'm saying? Joyriding. And somebody Acura bumped a high 97 like it was our shit. You know what I'm saying? I was like, ooh. I was like, this is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I was riding in the Act back in Irvington with some Haitians. Those are my friends. They had some dope Acuras. Like, oh my God, it was so nice. Yep, brings back memories.
Yeah. Yeah. The Acuras, what was the Honda Civics? What is it?
I had a Honda Civic. Oh my God, that was long ago. Never again. Like,
and the hatchback Preludes that was stick shift.
oh my gosh. So, yeah. Yep.
Nines in the store, Glocks in the bag, Max and Mini Markets getting money with the A-Rabs. I was like, yeah, she wrote that like she wrote it and delivered it disgusting. Like she did it in a disgusting manner. But there were a lot of writers that wrote for a lot of people. So they don't want to start playing that game about who wrote what.
Nobody writes anything anymore.
We know there were some people that wrote some stuff, okay? So people wrote some stuff, So
I mean, well, these producers be telling you, they tell you, I write for a living. This is how I make all of my money. They tell you.
Right.
And they have a lot of money.
Right.
A lot of money. So yeah, they write. That's all they do. And that's cool that you can do that, make a whole living off of that.
And they got some ghostwriters out here. Been getting busy, they've been ghostwriting for years. Your favorite ghostwriter got a ghostwriter.
Yep. Right. That's right. Yeah, but I mean, it's so bad right now. And they're admitting they have ghostwriters. Like they will say, "Yes, I have a ghostwriter." Yeah, of course we have ghostwriters. They don't deny it.
You was on the song with such and such. I just figured such and such wrote that. Like, no, such and such did not write that. Such and such might have got his verse wrote also. Such and such, so.
Ghostwriter's paying a ghostwriter.
Yeah, you better start listening to some of these guys who say I don't write. You get my Jada Kiss song, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to our Gemini brother.
I can't stand that. Just to be honest, like I hate when he does that. It's like it's just so weird to me. And speaking of that, I just heard it today. So in a song, yeah, I just heard it today. You always ask me what song. Like I know what it's called. Right by my side, in the song with was that Neo? Yeah, with Neo. Yeah, that's how it started off with him doing that. I'm like, why?
I think he told the story. He told the story on how that came about on his interview with Talib Kweli. He was on Talib Kweli's podcast, and he told the story about it. Yeah, so
okay.
Everything got a story. I was listening to Havoc. From Mobb Deep, right? Like 2 or 3 days ago, and he was doing an interview on IG or something like that, and the guy who was interviewing him was he was asking questions, kind of like I don't know where he was going with his line of questioning, but he asked him, he was like, "Where did the Dun language come from?" He was like, "Yo, right out of the projects." It was a cat that could not say the th letters, like the th words, like words like that. So instead of this, it'll be
Mm-hmm.
this. You see what I'm saying? So instead of that's where the Dun language came from. You see what I'm saying? So it's like Dunny. You know what I'm saying? Like so like so all of it kind of came with that. And he said it took off like wildfire in the projects because cats just thought that was some new slang. It came from a dude who couldn't pronounce
Yeah.
the th, the th. So it was just like it was the Dun language. You see what I'm saying? Like those. So if you over there and 40p's or wherever, you know what I'm saying, and then it became like a whole Queens thing. So they just left it, taught niggas how to speak the Dun language, and that shit got a story. You just never know, what the stories are. So that's why it's good to, have the interviews or whatever, because you never know what comes out of a story. Never know. So, because you would swear that is that
Ooh.
forever.
Oh, good Lord.
What happened?
Oh, I'm listening to you, and then I came across a headline. Good Lord. Um, I have to read. Let me read this before I give her credit. Let me.
Right.
you, 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 I don't want to get serious. I'm not going there. I saw a word. I saw a trigger word of mine. I'm not going to go there. I'm gonna
You
let it
got
go.
triggered? Got
It's
triggered?
after midnight. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, this word triggered me just now, and I'm not going there. I can't. This is crazy.
How do you live in
That word
Biggie
offends me.
Smalls?
Oh
I'm
my goodness.
surrounded by criminals. You know what I'm saying? Surrounded by criminals out here. Criminals. I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do two. I don't know if they're gonna be series, but two different topics. My brother Doc Mockty, he gonna come on. We're gonna have a little conversation on two topics. One is the psychological detriment of humanizing your enemy, and the other one is black organizational structure 101. So we're gonna
What was the first?
go there.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again, please.
The first one is the psychological detriment of humanizing your enemies. And the second one is Black Organizational Structure 101. So, we're going to
I'm
be looking
sorry.
at it.
I'm sorry. The
Going to be
second one is
looking at
funny
it.
to me. I had to laugh. You
Yeah,
felt
I
the need
mean,
to. When did you come up with that? That was recent, right? That was like this morning, right?
it was, it's been looming. If that's the word, it's been looming for
Really?
like 6 months or maybe longer. It might be longer.
What?
Yeah, so since
No.
December,
Really?
yeah, so since December, I think I did one show on it, kinda, and I wanted to see. It was kind of like Black political thought, because Black political thought was something I was going to get into, and deal with it from the organizational perspective. You see what I'm saying? Because of years of being in organizations and around organizations and helping organizations grow, and seeing them reach a pinnacle and then decline. Like, there are a bunch of things that's associated from a center, as opposed to folks having organizational understanding. There are a lot of people looking to join organizations or start organizations who don't have a working knowledge or foundation in how organizations are structured and why they move in a certain kind of way. You might be on the outside looking in and be like, why the fuck did they do that? But you don't know. You see what I'm saying? You don't know their organizational mandates, their organizational politics, whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? So, just looking since we got about 200 years of black organizations here in the United States or more. And there's thousands of organizations, black organizations that are out here. And they have a resounding theme and they have crossover in between their organizations. There may be entities all, to their own and sovereign in their own right and whatever, but they're foundational pieces to black organizations that are for black people. And this could be kind of like a litmus test to see if you're in an organization that is for black people. So, let me looking at that.
Because of some recent events happened, so I figured it popped that, so it basically made your mind up about popping that off. But and the first one, like I hope you'll cover asking these non-humans for equity and how can I be equal to you?
Right.
Maybe, but yeah, let's talk about that for a moment. Yeah. It is common sense. You cannot negotiate with an animal, okay? You
Right.
can't do it. Like,
right. Go to your room. You're talking to your dog. Like, go to your room. Don't roll your eyes at me. Go to your room.
No, a lot of people get it. It's just that people are not listening to them. So it's a lot of black folks that get it, and they will say that to you, and they understand that. But then you have the other side that's like really trying
to your snake.
They're really trying it, and I don't know. Yeah,
don't back
like
off me. Stop sticking your tongue out at me, snake. Okay. You want this? Talking to it like you would talk to your child. Like, nah, man, they understand me. Okay, they understand me. I wish I could be a snake. I'd be slithering around to and fro, up and down in the earth, seeking who I should devour. I'm surrounded by criminals, heavy rollers, even them shiesty individuals.
Have you considered? Have you considered the rejected one? You know what I'm saying? Like, people need to read that book. You brought that up, but people need to read that book the way it's supposed to be read. Like, have you dealt with my rejected one? So, it's just I like how it starts off. That's funny to me. It's really funny to me. Like, I'm laughing like, oh my gosh, like, I'm just chilling. I'm, shooting the breeze, messing with people,
Ambush, right? I gotta read that again. Just for right now.
Yeah, it's
just for fun. Boom.
Messing with people, that's all.
Black August will be here next month. You understand? Like, Black August will be here. Everybody who wasn't around June 10th, they wasn't around June 10th. They'll be around in Black August. And they'll be like, yeah, man, I'm here. I'm here, son. You know what I'm saying? Son. Yo, I'm saying, I'm here. Black August, I'm a Garveyite. Speaking of roaches, where was your antennas?
Where were you?
Where was your antennas? When they were still on our show.
Antennas.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Look.
Don't be sorry. That's what he said. Don't be sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Oh God.
For these eunuchs out here disrespecting black women, got so much to say about black women and what you choose. And you want something exotic. Okay. This is dedicated to you right here. Okay.
Yeah, but it don't make no sense though.
This is dedicated to them. Okay, so can I give them the news? This is called The Ambush. This is on page 68.
Drop it.
This is for them. This is for all of them and all of their advocates and all of their apologists and all of their sympathizers and empathizers and justifiers. This is for you.
I'm sorry.
You came out of a black woman. Now you need something. You don't want no angry black woman. And you an angry black man. You don't want no angry black woman. Or you ain't angry at all. You're not mad enough. Okay? You're not mad enough to understand her pain and her transgression and betrayal from the continent to the diaspora, and most particularly and in specific, right here in North America. You want something exotic. You want a beast. You want a beast? So this is for you, the ambush. The only form of attack employed by guerrilla forces is the ambush, the surprise attack. There must never be any front lines or defending of territory. The only engagements that are carried to completion are the ones that we are winning. After an initial attack, if the enemy regains himself and counterattacks, we disengage and simply go home to await the next opportunity when we can catch these cowards, these rats, these eavesdroppers, these suckers, these criminals, these heavy rollers, even these shiesty individuals, these race baiting, these race trading, these backstabbing, these devil advocates, these bestiologists, when we can catch them asleep with their dogs that they call women, moving in convoys and on the toilet. Boom. Gotcha. The ambush.
That's right.
Do you see why this kind of mind, this strategic warrior mind, is outlawed? They had to live through this. Okay? They had to live through this. They had to live through this. The prison guards had to live through this every single day. They had to live through this kind of mind every single day. This is why we have a Black August. This is why we have a Black August. This is why we have a Black August. And it started further behind enemy lines. They made no illusion about their condition. They made no illusion about their condition. Somehow, with creature comforts, we are able to make an illusion about our condition. So this started in the prison industrial complex. This black dragon moved stealthily through this place, and he made the loudest roar in the prison. This man, the black dragon, who gave us Solidad Brothers and Blood in My Eye. Okay? Who gave us a blueprint for strategic insurrection. They're going to be around like, yo, son, said, I'm telling you I'm here, son. You know what I'm saying? It's Black August, son. You see it? I got Black August tattoo right here. They're going to be coming around, you know? They're going to be coming around selling you Black August t-shirts, Black August buttons, Black August book bags, Black August bandanas. They're going to sell you that. You know, they had dashikis in Target. Your enemy is going to warp your mind with his improper propaganda campaign. You feel fulfilled that your enemy is participating in your civil unrest. This is the words that you use. You're rioting. You're looting. You feel fulfilled. Why were you out there in the first place? You are fulfilled that your captors are able to come out and mobilize and hand you signs and use spray paint and paint. You're happy. You're overjoyed that the world that profits off of our death and devastation daily around the globe, everybody around the globe, we're fulfilled about an outcry for them. You know? Muhammad Ali said, I shook up the world. I shook up the world after he beat Sonny Liston. I shook up the world. Okay? So we're looking for this kind of feeling and sense of gratitude and victory. We feel vindicated and uplifted that all of our enemies that encircle us and suck the blood from us and kill our children could come out to party with us. It went from a protest to a party. Look how powerful improper propaganda is. It went from an ambush to a no bush. And it's almost faded away from the scene. So now the conversation goes back to celebrity gossip. Damn, look how powerful this shit is. Improper propaganda. Right back. Right back. All it took was some fireworks, a DJ, some pig feet, and some gossip. Now Breonna Taylor's name is a murmur. It's a murmur, still a murmur. Like, Breonna Taylor. It went from an outcry for blood and death to we still ain't forgot. These people need to be arrested. That's where it went from. Just that quick. Just that quick. All it takes is something controversial, some award show, whatever the case may be, a versus battle thrown in there, a call for a versus battle, and this is where the attention goes. Shout out to the Black Dot, man. I love my brother, the Black Dot. Make sure y'all go to Urban X TV. He said they don't need millions anymore. They only need one or two that can control millions. He said that like maybe 15 years ago. He said we had the Black Panther Party, and the title of the lecture was Black Panther Party versus Black People Who Party. And we see it. It goes from a strong stance to a joke. Robert Abiodun from the Last Poets 50 years ago, you know, he said niggas will still party and bullshit and party and bullshit and party and bullshit. And they took that strong psychological statement and turned it into a song, a couple of songs. So this is where they take it. This is where they take it. They take this strong African centered warrior analysis and it becomes transmuted into something that's crazy. They took that song from the Loonies, I Got Five on it, and they changed it to a horror theme song. Ain't that some shit? That one of the happiest songs in the world, and they changed it into like a dark, crazy, psycho thriller joke movie theme in the background. No black people can get corona until nothing but black people getting corona and dying from it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, that sleight of hand, that prestidigitation is real.
Witchcraft.
How you live in Biggie Smalls? I'm surrounded by criminals. At least big song. You know what I'm saying? He saw. It's the ones that smoke blunts with you, see your picture. Now they want to grab the guns and come and get you. He's seen them.
That song is just so great for the day, man. It's like, oh my goodness. It's so fitting right now.
So, you know, people took it. Right? Yeah. Damn. Crazy. Crazy like that glue. You know? He want my man like, yo, them cats you running with they ain't no shit, man. Hey. Wound up in Manhattan studio, you know?
Yep.
That's how it happens. That's how it happens. Yeah, it's funny when you look at some of this footage from, you know, some of this stuff. Like you seen the ones that you know that was with him, that was with some of these people. It could be anybody. You could see it in their eyes that they already know what's about to happen. Sitting next to people that sold you out. Sitting next to people that you knew you was like, nah, right next to you.
Mm-hmm.
You telling the truth. They sitting by you quiet, like, I don't want none of that. I love everybody. They talking that shit, or they just silent with the scariest look in the world. It didn't matter who it was. Some people it was multiple occasions. You go back and look and see. You know?
Yep.
Dr. King told us who his Judases was.
He did, yeah. His last speech, yeah. And he told you how
like, yo,
they did.
These motherfuckers.
Yep.
Golly. Bless your heart.
Yep. Yep, it destroyed a black woman in the process. Yes.
Right. Did you see that movie? What's that movie? American Gangster.
Yes.
There was a part in there about that piano and that alpaca little situation or something. He told his brother, he said, if you wasn't my brother, I'd kill you. He was so mad at him that he had to laugh, and he kissed his brother on the cheek and said, you know what? You see what I'm saying? Like it was crazy. I think it was like two instances. It was that instance, and I think he was in the car with him, and he had some shit in the car, like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like the kind of mind right there. Like he was like, yo, can't nobody talk to me direct no more. You know what I'm saying? You around here with criminals, like you rolling with criminals, you know? Heavy rollers, even them shiesty individuals. All it took was a little bit of gold, silver, you know. Hey, Sass, you know what's funny? They be talking shit about the Bible all the time because that's what they do, right? Like that's a new thing or old thing or whatever. You know, it's a new thing or
That
old thing.
that's what get views.
Oh,
Yeah,
they could watch a movie,
and us
Get
Bible
Out,
believers don't even talk
right?
about it like that.
They could watch a movie, Get
Right.
Out, and they see this dude get set up and lined up by this dog like he was supposed to because he was with her, and see that she would always choose her nation of dogs over anybody and everybody. He was looking for her to betray her family and give him the keys.
Mm-hmm.
she, she she had the keys in her hand the whole time. I'm just pulled the keys out and said, I can't give. She said, I can't give you these keys. Like Rose, this is what we look like. That's what we look like. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is what we look like. This is what we look like. Like Rose. So you can't see Delilah was sent to Samson. She had a duty to her people.
Who?
She had a duty to her nation.
Oh,
Delilah.
yeah. She was a
Yeah,
foreigner. Yeah, absolutely. She was
yeah,
loyal to her own
yeah.
people, right? As she should have been. Yes.
Like she should have been right.
She
Yeah,
should
like
be.
what you expecting to
Samson
happen?
is an
Like, oh,
idiot. Yeah,
well, I mean,
right.
like, look
Your
at the.
allegiance is to your people and your people alone.
This is the whole aspect right here. Like, yo, you looking
Hmm.
for cheese in the wrong place. Like, yo, Rose.
Hmm. Yep. She did him in. Yep. And his parents tried to warn him, like, get your own, choose a wife of your own people, man. Like, you wouldn't listen to wisdom, nothing.
He
Oh,
wanted
well.
something. He wanted something exotic. Is that what it was?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So,
uh,
yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All this God talk and God first and God and thank God. To God be the glory. And then we see these transgressions. Okay. See these transgressions, So as long as the cat agree with me, I'm good. World ain't got to, you know. Roads. Like, I don't even, that dude from the UK, but he gave that rose from like his diaphragm.
Yeah.
How did they get him upset like that in order for him? Like that's some serious acting right there. He was in the moment right there. Like either he had real fear or he what did he channel for that? That was crazy. All
You
that
need to get
mild
the
mannered stuff that was there, like what I'm saying? It's like oh. Lil Rel, they sent him that picture. Lil Rel, I'll tell you, that dude said, why is he dressed like that? he ain't say nothing about none of this other shit. This dude from Brooklyn. Why is he dressed like that? Like, you see what I'm saying? I was like, man, I tell you. He wanted that rose all to himself. Didn't know he was chosen. Thought he was doing the choose. Dr. Bobby E. Wright, boy. Dr. Bobby E. Wright.
exotic. Um,
Give
when
me the
people use that word, or in the context of the way they were using it, they were putting it towards a certain look, um, something that they like in particular. If you look at the type of females they were talking about, they use the wrong word. That's not even the proper word to use according to the authority to the English language, Oxford, right? So
ox.
the definition, because I was asked, obviously an international place. So I was asked, "You look exotic. What country are you from?" Like, it's not even a sexual thing. Is what they're saying is, you look like you're from a different country. You're not from here. Where are you from? That's what it's meaning. But in the context of how black men are speaking, these particular black men were speaking, they weren't speaking in that type of way. It was a whole different way. They were speaking to a certain look, that they wanted. But exotic means, and it's an adjective, belonging to another country, foreign, alien.
Alien.
That's all it means. Right. So, but what in the context of what they're speaking of, they're talking about mutts, mixies. That's what they're referring to. They're not referring to, you know what I'm saying, to women
Yeah.
of different, they're not referring to that. They're referring to mixies. Especially with the examples of who they around and who they're with. You look at it and it's like, good Lord, they don't even know what they're talking about. So they sounded ignorant, and nobody's even addressed that, or a lot of commentary I've been listening to, and they have not even touched that. I'm like, can we get the definition? Can we get in context what this means? They're not speaking to the word that they're using.
Yeah.
They're using it as a woman being sexy, something that's rare, something they don't see too much of or whatever. That is what they're saying, which are not rare. It's just a certain type of look that they're going for. And they need to stop with that, because I've seen some Chinese women turn to what they call exotic, and they look like a whole different like it's amazing. Have you seen it before? Chinese makeup artists, they
Yeah.
will change their whole look.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh my gosh!" She said, "I'm gonna take all of my stuff off, all my makeup." She had like these stockings that pulled up her face. It was like, oh my gosh, she took it down. She had like this heart shaped face. I mean, it's so cute, right? And then after she was finished, she had a round face. I said, this is a whole different person, like for real. So they need to be careful about who they, you know what I'm saying? Who they dealing with. They have no idea. It's like,
Yeah.
so I just see it as ignorance. It's basically it's a stab at black women. The hate for black women is real. We did something to them that they
Mm.
hate. And instead of just telling us what we did, they go and start insulting and putting them down or whatever, to try to make other people not mess with us. Okay, so this is what they're doing. So, but I mean, real black men understand, and the majority of black men understand that this is not something that they should be doing, and I thank God for that. You know, um, I see it. I see it all the time in the street, and it's just amazing. And they have little black children with them. So, you know, 50 is trying to use his influence, all right, to try to you know get black men to go this route. But he's forgetting that these type of women over here, they're only looking at what he makes. Because if he had nothing, they'd be like side eyeing him, like they do
Mm.
black people.
Right.
So he has some money. He needs to keep it real. If he didn't have his money, he wouldn't be ish. And that's just a fact. You think him be looking at Kanye? No. It's just a fact. Like, nobody is like, oh my God, like, really? But guess what? Black women would, regardless, through the fire, through adversity, like, we stand strong with our man. We will do that, as long as we get respect and and what do you call that? This is the C word. Companionship, always being there for each other, trusting each other. So yeah, I mean, I feel like black people, we don't have problems. We have, of course, internal issues. And I was talking to somebody earlier about internal issues, okay? And that can be solved internally in the black community. But overall, I feel like we do stand strong together at the end of the day. It has been shown in movies, and people try to downplay movies, but it shows in even the movies that, at the end of the day, we do form like Voltron, when a threat come in. And the masses, they know this, they understand this. This is why they move fast to dismantle this thing. Back in the 60s, they understood, we gotta get rid of this thing here. And it's well documented. If you don't believe it, Black people are stronger than what you think. So I just wanted to put that out there. Of course, these are puppets that work for Hollywood, Hollyweird, pedophilia, and all these, they're being paid to do this. And there was something that I was reading just recently. Of course, trying to brush up on my African philosophy, right? So I'm reading in the book, and I'll tell you what the book is later, but it's a textual analysis, negritude, African Americanism, and Africanaism. Firstly, negritude emerged as an ideology response, and more specifically as a cultural and intellectual denunciation of oppressive colonial rule and white supremacy. Describes negritude as a testimony to the injustices of colonialism and the Black woman's refusal of Western values and religious indoctrination. So, yeah, we not with this white supremacy stuff. We not even trying to be like the white woman, like how they say we trying to be like them. No, we are totally different. This is why they don't mess with us like this. This is why they don't support our businesses. That they don't support anything we're in. This is why they support the Black man. They'll go after our man. They understand that we're not dealing with a society like this. And it's just a fact. Black women are more, I heard a Black woman say this. She said, the laws are set up to help Black women. I said, where have you been? Like, seriously, have you been alive that long? And you walk around telling a lie like this? It's a lie. It's a lie. It's something that was told to cause division. That's all it was. Okay. But at the end of the day, Black women are not dealing with the society here. We do expect more from our men, and we're going to keep demanding it. So if you want to, keep acting a fool, saying you want exotic dicks, go be my guest. I'm okay with it. If you want to be a part of this sick society, go on ahead. That's on you. But at the end of the day, Black women are not dealing with it. This is not something that we want. It's not something we signed up for. And if we could throw it all in the garbage, we would. So that's all I had to say. Let me get off my soapbox.
Nope.
I'm getting down.
Nope.
I'm getting down. Getting off of it.
I'm turning up the loudspeaker. Let's go.
I really trigger words, man. I mean, people who don't read, people who don't understand the English language. This is why you need. Look, I'm with the Moors on this point. Okay, I don't really rock with the Moors like that. But when they tell you need to know how to read English, you need to know how to read and understand English. Because if you don't, you'll be twisted up. All right, twisted up. Look at Wesley Snipes, twisted up. Because he can't read English. Okay? Just saying. This is just an example. I mean, this is a tricky language. It's a tricky language. And the best, and I will say this, the best English dictionary is from the authority themselves, Oxford. Definitions change over time. Okay? A contract way back some centuries ago may mean something different today, depending on what it is. You have to constantly be up on this enemy. You have to understand everything it does. Okay, it's a deceitful thing. It's not a human thing. It's not something that that has any empathy. It doesn't have feelings. Okay, don't get into it. It has no. It's out there for its own interest. That's it, and it's always been that way. Always. So, that I'm done. I'm gonna save this for the students. Okay, I'm gonna save it for them because I can't.
The students are listening right now. They're listening.
I get too emotional. I just get.
You can get emotional here. You can't get emotional there. So get emotional here because you can't get emotional there. You can't get.
Oh no, I go in and I encourage them to do the same thing. I do. I encourage them to do the same thing because I really want to know. Because this is what I don't like using the word philosophizing. I don't like using that because that is that's European. Um, but um, I want to hear the responses, to these things. I want to hear people actually attacking the issue and bringing out what it truly means. Even if the people who are telling it's coming out of don't know what they're talking about, because it's obvious someone told them to say this. It's obvious that they even had this whole conversation about exotic women or whatever, as if because when you hear about, and when I hear that, you're talking about an animal, actually. Like, you hear about, oh, exotic animals, that's what I hear it the most. So anything except for your own, anything except for your own. And it's just it's what do you call that, treasonous, like how you said
Treason.
earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's treasonous.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just speaking against your own people, that which has been painted as a bad thing throughout history. They will say, if you speak against the president of this country, they'll cut your tongue out or whatever. Yeah, they would do that. They would do that because you can't. No, you do not do this in front of company. You don't do these things in front of company. You just don't do it. It allows for them. They know who to go after. They know who to corrupt now. They know who to change and turn against you in your own fold. Like, you can't do this. These are internal issues that need to be off the internet, that need to be in, behind closed doors, where you can speak and try to, this is what they do. Whatever they put out into the into the airwaves or whatever, it's all calculated. And this is something that we don't understand.
That's right.
Okay. And and but but we just don't get it. And we so smart till we fool, and we think we're really smart and we're really not smart. We think it was smart because we went to their schools, and yeah, but you're not really. Man, I don't even want to get on that topic of learning from their schools and then you thinking you smart, and you reading
Well,
from their
no.
books and you thinking you're smart. Well, if you ain't never
Just
been
go ahead.
nowhere
Yeah,
and
just
you
go
reading
ahead.
from a
Yeah.
book,
Right.
look, if you never been nowhere and you teaching from a book and regurgitating, you're not a scholar. You're a parrot. You're a parrot. You're an animal. You're a parrot. You're a bird. Bird in the hood. What bird mean? Yeah. So you just regurgitate, and you have to get out there and actually do some footwork. Now, I know there's a lot of scholars out there that will tell you the truth. They'll go out and build relationships and live with people, live in certain civilizations, so they can come back and report to you how these people actually live and how they, what I'm saying, they become a part of the fold. They're not reading any books about anything. They're sharing their experiences with the people at hand, with the culture at hand. These are the type of scholars I read from. Okay, experience. Okay, and where have you been? You know, show me these pictures. Take some pictures with these people. Do this, do that. I know, being in like military and everything, we got mad pictures with people from all over. Like, in their country, we got pictures. Okay, and it's funny because they do understand what you're there for. But they'll say, okay, we're not warring right now. We cool. Let's go get something to drink, whatever, party, whatever. Tomorrow is back to warring. It's like that. And it's a good thing, getting to know people and their culture, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Forget about the circumstances at which you're there. But, as long as you're there and you're actually speaking to people, I have elders that will tell me that the names, biblical names in the book, they know the people, they've seen the people, spoke to the people in those regions who say, yes, that's us. But when you read it in a book and you're from a library or whatever, you're not going to get that education. You're not going to get it. And then you're going to go around telling people they don't know what they're talking about, because why? You read in the damn book and you ain't never been nowhere. And this is the type of scholarship that has to stop. And this is the type of mediocre scholarship that is promoted in our society. This is what's promoted. This is as much education you're going to get. I remember before you could get your master's, you had to have some experience before you did it. Now you can get a bachelor's degree and go right into a master's program, and I ain't got to go nowhere. There used to be stuff like that. You would have to get some life experience, before you can even apply. Okay, but now it's different. It don't even matter. Just read the book, write a paper, whatever. Boom, you're a scholar. And the funny thing is the books that you're reading, they just picked and cherry picked things from different other scholars. Read the back of the book and see where they got it from. And I mean, the chain is so long. It's so long. Like, I mean, hundreds of references in the back of a book, and you go to follow each one. And it's just like a chain. Then you get those books that are translated over and over again from other languages, primary sources that are written in other languages, ancient languages, and they're translated to today, and you're calling them primary sources, and this is the truth. That's BS. That is BS. So I don't want to hear that. Okay, since we know that not everybody went into slavery, since we know most civilizations on the planet still exist, they still have their hardware, they still have their paperwork or whatever. You can go talk to them; they can tell you exactly who they are and what's going on. That's a lot. A lot of African societies are very incognito. I was told that a lot of the old rituals and things of that nature are all gone now. I said, really? How do you know that? A book told you that? A website told you that? Did you actually go there? Did you go there? And then nine times out of 10, if you do go there, they're not going to let you in anyway because they have standards. They have a code. They have standards. They have their own people. They don't know you. You're a stranger. I don't care. You look like me. I don't care. So how do you know what exists and what still you weren't there? So we rely on Oxford because this is who regulates all of the information that you get to explain who you are. No. So we're going to use some examples. A lot of our leaders used to travel, right? They used to go and they used to stay like a long time out of the country and to live with different people, to learn different heritages and traditions and cultures and customs of different people, and they would come back to tell you about it, and most of them ain't write no damn book. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just, we have to get up out of this Western way of thinking. You can't say that you're African and then you over here being Western. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't say that you're Egyptian either. You can't say, and then you being all Western over here with the material, this quote unquote education. You can't say it. You can't. So, look, I implore people to go travel, to go see stuff. This is something that military allowed for me to go see. That's the only way I was ever going to see it, was through that. And that was one of the good things about being in that thing, in that, you want to call it a fraternity or whatever. You can bash it all you want or whatever, but it opens your eyes. And sometimes you fall in the right places, it could change your life, So, I just want to put that out there. There was a woman who said, she was broke. She said, I'm broke because I travel so much. And she wasn't going to beaches or resort to anything. She was actually traveling, going into, countries who still have their indigenous people, and living amongst those people and learning from them. And she said, I don't have money. I don't have anything. I spend my money. This is what I spend my money on. And I just think it's so profound. And she's got stories of the yin yang and pictures of the yin yang. See, you look, we need to see the evidence. Just give us the pictures. We need to see it. And I know in a lot of the old books in the library, you'll find pictures of our leaders or our people with other people around the world. I've been here. This is where I've been. This is what this tribe is called. And this is where they are, and this is what I learned or whatever. And but you just don't get that anymore. We rely on this European who just makes up stuff and changes things, and at the same time making you think it's okay to change things. Somebody said to me today, history has to be rewritten. Oh, I said, you sound like them. The hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? No, no, history needs to remain the same, and we need to do better. Like, I don't even, I mean, I don't, that I couldn't swallow. Like, I don't know what you think about that, about history being rewritten. Like, you know, they're knocking down statues right now, right? They're knocking them all down, and guess what? They're erasing their history. They're erasing it right before your eyes, and you're helping them do it. I said, let it stay there. Let it stay there so we can always know how ratchet, because we're not ratchet, you're ratchet, how ratchet and how, and a big disgrace, okay? You are, okay? And how non-human or inhumane you are. Please leave it. All right, leave Robert E. Lee right there. Leave him right there, okay? Right there. Do not move it. Let them fly the Confederate flag. We will fly the UNIA flag. How about that? How about that? They scream white power, you scream black power. That's all you have to do. We're not erasing nothing. I want you to be you so I can be me. The more you show yourself, the better for me. Okay? The better for me. It's a reminder of who they are. Because they're good at getting into like sheep's clothing. They're good at it until you get them upset. And people act like they've never seen this type of behavior before, and then calling them Karens. Like, Miss Millie from The Color Purple. Remember Miss Millie? That right there, that's always been around. And even worse, there's nothing new about it. As if we just woke up this morning. Well, I'm sorry, a month ago. We woke up a month ago and we started recognizing what white supremacy is. Before, it didn't exist. Before, black people, you can, you're just lazy and you can just do whatever you want. You just don't, you don't work hard enough. Black people don't want to do nothing or whatever. Now, all of a sudden, white supremacy is holding us back. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And then it's just, our people have to wake up. I mean, and not only even because nobody's woke. All right, they're not woke. First of all, they're trying to negotiate with animals. Like, you can't. It don't work. It does not work. And what my grandmother said, she said, my grandmother don't like, she don't like ruffling feathers or nothing, or like that. She'll just sit there and go, well, I mean, what can we do about it? They're in charge. That's what she said. She always says, she goes, it will take blood in the streets. She said that's what it would take. Now, Granny, the elder, who don't like getting in trouble, who don't stir up trouble, who sticks to herself. I mean, perfect credit. I mean, I don't need no man, even though she had one. I don't need no man. And my grandfather said, if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have a house. If it wasn't for her budgeting smarts, if it wasn't for her financials, and she never went to any college, we wouldn't have all of this if it wasn't for her. So what she speaks is truth. She said it will take blood, literally. That's what she said, and she left it at that. So if you don't understand what that is, I don't know what to tell you. And if you don't want to recognize it, means you want to stay in your current condition. And I feel sorry for you. And then you have to raise children to be subjugated to this condition forever. And that right there doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't. And which leads me to the NFAC. I have no ill will against this group of this militia group. I don't, but I didn't see any children in there. And I'm like, where the kids at? Because when you show the kids like that, that means you mean business. Like, when the baby's in there too, in those states out there, Florida, children can handle firearms, if you didn't know. and they're taught at a very young age. They should be out there to suited up and ready to go. So that was my question for them. Where were the babies? But I digress. I guess that will be an internal conversation we will need to have on that. But that's just one of the things that I saw that was wrong with that. Like, I'm not a pessimist, and I was called that for even questioning what they was like. No, 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 no. I said this is not the way to do it. Like, I want to see them do the right thing. That's all. So it's not wrong with giving constructive criticism, right? So
Right.
I got dogged out on Facebook. I said, well, damn, because they were all impressed and I wasn't. I said, I'm impressed that they had that many people. You know what I'm saying? I was like, really, because you don't see black people like that. Most black people scary, and I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Most of them scary. Now, the brothers in the hood not scared, but most black people are scared in this society that we're in. You know, and they have a right to be. You have cops like hunting you because that's what's happening. They're actually hunting you, and you don't realize it, but they're hunting you. And if you know what a hunter is, what a predator is, you'll recognize them. There's ways you can recognize a predator. So I don't know if we should be talking about that too. That's a good class to have. How to recognize a predator. Like that Jason Bourne movie. Was it the first Jason? No, it was part 2 where no, it was part 1. He's in the restaurant and he's telling a girl that he doesn't know who he is or whatever, but he said, well, how come I know this man sitting at the bar can handle himself? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? How do I remember this? How I remember that? How do I know, this man can handle himself? He's good with, and he's explaining how this man, he would be in a real bad scuffle with this dude, right? How would he know that? And these are skills that we need to be having, you know.
Right.
So I'm not gonna break any of that down with the NFAC. I'm not gonna do that, and I'm not upset with them. I'm not pointing fingers at them or nothing. I just have some questions. That's it. I just have some questions, and my number one question is where the babies. So, all right, that's it. I'm done. How long was I talking? I'm done. I'm done. For
How
now.
long was
For
I
now.
talking? For
Until we
now.
change the subject to something else. Because these trigger words, man. Exotic was one.
Right.
Cis woman is another.
Oh shit! What is that?
I'm being triggered by these words. Yeah. A cis woman?
Yeah.
Uh,
What is that?
a cis woman is a biological woman.
Hmm.
Now tell me why I'm mad, son. Tell me why I'm mad at that word. uh why not just say I'm a woman? Like, we're women. Why not fight that word? Because a certain community wants to put a label on biological women. Because apparently there's different types of women. When we know there's only one type of woman, right? I
Biological
am not
warfare.
falling into that. Right. I am not going to fall into that, and I don't give a damn. I don't care. Like, I'm a woman. I'm gonna say that. I don't care. Call yourself whatever you want, but you're not going to put no cis woman in front. But no, 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 no. No, I'm offended. Forget about you being offended. I'm offended. Okay. What about me? It's all about them because like I was saying earlier, we too sensitive. We too sensitive. We need to see all the nastiness, the blatant hatred. We need to see all of this so we can get used to it, so we can know what we're dealing with. Just, oh, okay, we've seen that before, so we won't be so surprised or whatever. I can't stand that cis woman thing. I mean, it's just, and every time I read it, and Halle Berry said it, she turned out like the role was messed up anyway. But the fact that she was bullied into to not taking the role, and then having to explain how she's a cis woman, I'm like, really? Halle Berry is a mixie, but she says that she's black or whatever. I believe her because her actions say so. I do. That's one of the mixies that I can rock with because she keeping it real. Like 24/7 around anybody she black. She don't have to turn around and say I'm this and that with other people, whatever. She out with it. I'm black. That's it. That's all. My mom is white, but this is how she is all the time, and she don't have to do the switcheroo, whatever. Still a mixie, but I have respect for her. But I had lost a lot when I read that article just now, and that's what got me upset when I said I said, oh my God, like, and I said a trigger word, like, and then she's being bullied into, I can't because people are offended. If you've been called the N word, no other word should offend you. Like, seriously. Like, to tell you the truth. And if they call you that, you call them a word that offended. Eye for an eye. You go, this is what you do. That's all you got to do. Call them something. Oh my God, they called me. We'll call them back another name. Somebody hit you, you hit them back. Right? You're defending yourself. You have the right to do it verbally and physically. You do. And they've taken away your right to speak. Now, I also came across in some slave pages. I'm going to say slave pages because these were in some books. And I was reading that they said that they were putting things on the mouths of slaves so they wouldn't speak. Took away their voice. So they were owned by slave owners, and they were not permitted to speak. They were not permitted to have a voice. This is the same thing. It's repeating itself. Every time I turn around, oh, you can't say this, you can't say that because you're offending this person, you're offending that person or whatever. I mean, don't you see the trend here? Don't you see the trend? Now, people know good words from bad words. And although I know good and bad and good and evil, all this stuff is subjective, people know what tick people off. So it's best not you say it. That's all. Or you're going to get busted in your face, right? That's the reaction. That's what should happen, right? That's all. Have a fight and get it over with, whatever. But now it's kind of like you get prosecuted, be put into jail and all kinds. I mean, get ridiculed, get your whole life taken away from you. You get your whole what do you call it? Oh my God, why can't I think of the word I'm going? Your job, you could lose your job behind all of these things. Everything that you own, you can lose. Just because somebody said you offended them, this is a hate crime, this is that, or whatever. And this is the thing that Martin Luther King Jr. was saying. No. Well, this is what he realized after the fact, but Malcolm had always been saying it. Like, how are you going to try to make a hypocrite out of them? They don't want to do this for you. Why are you trying to make them do it, Martin? Why? And I'm sure they spoke behind closed doors. They weren't many pictures together, but I'm sure they were on the phone going back and forth. Like, why are you doing this to us? And it further destroyed us. It further did. And then just the other day, I heard a white person online say, and somebody played it, was on Facebook. This white woman said, then we have the Emancipation Proclamation. So basically you people should be happy. That's basically what this woman said. The two-legged dog. This is what she said. Shout out to Khalid Muhammad, right? This is the stuff this is what they do. We gave you this stuff. You should be happy. Shut the hell up. And then now you're fighting for more legislation. Now you're trying to, negotiate some more with these people who don't want to do anything with you. I don't get it. That's going backwards. That means you're silly. That means kind of dumb, really. Like it doesn't make any sense. You're slow or whatever. And these are so-called smart, educated people saying these things. We need equity. Equity is subjective. What I believe to be is fair may be different for you. You may you get somebody to paint your house. You may not think it's a $2,000 job. I may think it's a $200 job. Right? It's subjective. Equality is not going to work. Why? Because you can't negotiate with them equality. They're going to give you any piece of their freedom. They're not going to give you any piece of their of their autonomy. They're not going to give you a piece of anything that they have, their supremacy at all. So now we have backtracked to equity. I mean, this word has been used a lot, and it's not by accident. The first time I saw it I saw it being used was by the first lady of the United States of America. The first lady, the president's wife. She said it, and after she said it, now everybody's saying this word equity now. I'm like, why? So it just leads me to believe it's one of those things that was set up to be put out there. So nobody's talking about equality anymore. Now we're talking about equity, and that's another trigger word for me. That's another trigger word for me. And it just annoys me to no end. You know, and something about um, especially for disenfranchised people like blacks and Hispanics. This is something that she said. So acknowledging who is not being treated fairly, but say we're going to try to. I mean, how do you do that? How do you say that? People are not being treated fairly. You want to be treated fairly, right? But these people are not being treated fairly. But you're going to say we're going to work to try to treat them fair, when you have all of the power because you're white and you have white, and you repping white supremacy. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. You say something like that, I cannot trust you. Like, I just can't. When you're talking like that, and I don't think it's double speak. Is it double speak? It's not double speak. It's like you talking to someone and you think they're dumb or something like that. Like, it's something like that. And I just don't appreciate those things, and it annoys me to no end. Like, and I know you talk a lot about psychology, but a lot of this falls into philosophy as well. It's an interconnected thing. That the white man will say, well, it's philosophy, it's wisdom and blah blah. No, 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 no. It's the ways of the people. It's the way people think. And this is and how thoughts change, and how people change, and when society change, the people change, and the whatever. I don't do well with change. I don't do well with change. Obama said, what did he say? What was his slogan? Because I don't like Obama. I don't even remember nothing about Barack Obama. Well, I remember his policies, but what did he say? What was it? Knowledge. What was it? Change we can believe. Change we could believe in. I think it was change we could believe in. I said, what is he talking about? Change we could believe. What change? What are you talking about? And then we learned 8 years later what he meant. And now we got cis woman coming out of biological woman's mouth. I'm a cis woman. My pronouns are her and she. I'm like, oh my God. Like, if I see that, my pronouns are her and she. I know that you're a biological woman. I know that. Like, anyway, they're pushing this dehumanization project. That's what I call it, meaning that um, if you're a human, you're either identified as a male or a female. Now they're trying to get rid of that whole thing. So they're taking away. I don't know how you would explain. I don't know any. How they deal with that, because that's in psychology. I don't deal with psychology. Like, I don't have patience for psychology. You do, but I just don't. But it's trying to remove the gender away, trying to take away something that's totally human, something that's totally natural out of the picture, and turning it into something else. The change we can believe in. It's a whole slogan behind this thing. It's a way to sociology too. It's psychology, sociology, and philosophy. It is. It's all intertwined. It's because, man. And and this is a whole program. And if you don't see the program, I don't know what to tell you. I sit and I think, and I ask questions. I think a lot. Like, when I put on my Facebook profile, a thinker, yeah, that's what I am, a thinker. I sit down and I think. I think a lot. I think, and I take notes, and like, why is this like this? Why would they do that? Okay, now it makes sense to me, because this and that, and you start, and then I'll Google names and phrases to different people, and then then it brings the connection to it. It's really funny. I'm like, oh, okay, so these two people do know each other. and they are trying to put this out here. So it's kind of like, how can we get the people to do this? How we can get the people to do that? And it's through philosophy. It's through philosophy, psychology, sociology. It's through that, and economics. It's economics is considered to be a social science. If people didn't know that, I don't know. People don't get that. But people think it's business, but it's not. So but what was that? What'd you say?
I didn't say nothing.
Oh, I heard you make a noise. Okay. So yeah, so it is definitely a program going on, and this is not conspiracy theory. It's just not. So it's not common sense either. You have to actually do some research, study, understand the English language. People think it's funny when I say that. Like, I go, "That's an English word," and they're like, "Oh God, here she goes again." Well, it is. You have to tell me, in what context are you speaking? Because people use big words and all these different words all the time, and they don't even know what they're talking. Most people speaking don't know what they're talking about. And I forgot who said that. It was a rapper who said it. Oh man. For some reason, I'm pulling Method Man, but if it was a conversation, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna let you know, because I thought that was so profound. Most people who are speaking and using these words and speaking in a certain way don't even understand what they're talking about. And every time you speak to somebody, assume they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Always do that, and then go back and then do your own research. Believe nothing, believe nobody, believe yourself. So, this is what I teach my children. My children tell you in a hot minute. All right, let me go. Let me get back with you. Let me go check that. They'll do that. Like, if you take anybody's word for face value, you go do your own research. And it's the last thing I want to bring up. There was a white woman who pulled her gun out, I think last week, or I don't know how old it was, but people were in an uproar or whatever, because she pulled out her firearm on a black woman and her daughter. And people were saying, well, see how these people act, or whatever. It was tweeted by that Sean King guy from Black Lives Matter, that white boy, the one that was pretending to be black before we knew he was white. That one, yeah, and he had his black wife in on it, trying to, yeah, horrible deception. He can no longer be trusted. Okay, he should not have any Black Lives Matter or nothing coming out of his ears. Nothing. He should not even be able to speak to the black community at all, but we still listen to him for some strange reason. He tweets this link out and shows a woman pointing her gun and being irate in front of these black people or whatever, and saying that see how they treat black people. What this is, instead of telling us the whole story about what happened was that the black woman threatened her husband. Now, what happens is, when you go around threatening people, you are going to 9 times out of 10 get dealt with. And this is what happened to this black woman. She got dealt with. You can't go running around threatening people's families and things like that, unless you're willing to go through that war with them. This is something that you just do not do. And because of this Black Lives Matter thing that just come out, just putting a lot of batteries in black people back. You know what I'm saying? Use the wisdom your mother gave to you. So I will say this, that two-legged dog, she had a right to do that, because if somebody did that, somebody said that to me, I'm going in my house, I'm getting my firearm. I've done it plenty of times. Okay. I'm going to do it. So ain't nobody doing that to me. So just be, careful, pick your battles wisely. Try to learn these trades on your own. So when the threat comes up, you'll know how to deal with, and I know in survival classes, and even in combat, there's some certain words you don't say. Like when I was talking about trigger words, I was being extreme, but those are some words you don't want to say. And there's lists and lists of things and phrases that you should not be saying to certain people, depending on their culture and where they come from or whatever, or you will get dealt with. So that's it. That's all I want to talk about. But yeah, this thing, yeah, this you know, this book that I'm reading is bringing up a lot of great topics. It's in the African philosophy section of the book, which is pretty small, but it's showing it's showing some truths in here. And me being a black woman, I understand I can co-sign this part of the book, only this part of the book, and not too much else in the book. But what they're saying in here is the truth, that black women have a harder time fitting in with other people. We just do, and it's not an attitude problem. And I know Nala said that they portrayed the black woman as angry and snapping her fingers and moving her neck or whatever. He said, when have you ever seen a black woman do that? And I'm thinking to myself, like, probably never. After you think about it, like, never, because I don't do that, and my mother
Never,
never did it, and people I know
never.
never did.
Right.
so
This is
you have to think
manufactured.
about these
This
things.
is a manufactured image. You understand what I'm saying? Like this is a manufactured misrepresentation. You see what I'm saying? They do it with black children. They do it with black men. They give it off as if it's black culture. Like no, we don't
Mm-mm.
come from any of that. You see what I'm saying? So and it continues to morph and amalgamate further every day. You see what I'm saying? So black men don't
Mhm.
take care of their children. You see what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. They push that. You see what I'm saying? Like black men don't want black women. Black women don't want black men. They
Right,
push it. You see what I'm saying? And then they come with all of this recycled stuff about the stuff that's pushed through and pushed off and socially accepted as black culture. No, we have deep, rich history.
right.
You can even look in the
That's
Americas. You
right.
understand what I'm saying? Pre-segregation, and you could
That's
see
right.
how things is done
Mhm.
in decency and order and with purpose. You
Right,
understand what I'm saying?
right.
So these inclinations come in later when you get the whisperings in the wind, from these imposters, these amalgamators, these never was, these never should have been. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
All of them, you know, seeking to attach themselves and and have life vicariously because they're not even alive. They only can live like that movie Fallen, jumping from person to person. They're not even alive.
Mhm. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They like zombies that gotta feed, like vampires that gotta feed the undead. This is what they are. Not a people like the
Mhm.
scriptures say. You understand what I'm saying? Like all of this stuff in
Right.
regards to it. So
Exactly.
just like going up and down in the earth seeking whom I should devour, like this is their mission. That's it. They're not here for anything else. So our ancients were telling us, our ancestors were telling us, like, yo, you see these motherfuckers, this is what they do. This is who they are. They show you the corporate strategies and all of that. When you start looking, like, I guess I'm gonna do that series one day. You and I, we could do that. You ain't gangster enough for the scriptures because it's a lot of mistakes that's going on. Like, I think these cats ain't. You ain't gangster enough. You ain't God enough. You ain't nothing enough when it comes to these scriptures. Like you don't recognize your own people. You don't recognize where
Yep.
you come from. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So, but you don't hear your speech. You see what I'm saying? Like you don't hear your speech, and I got to do it with you because you
Mhm.
found our
Yep.
slang in there. You found our slang. Like you understand what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
like yeah,
Yeah,
you
I find
found
my own.
our language. Like to know that okay, this is further evidence that this is our language. This is you know you know
Mhm.
you can't say you like yo what's going on? You be like hey same old shit dog, just a different day. And then you read scripture and say ain't nothing new under the sun. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like so how you don't recognize you
Yep.
who you are because you don't know who you are. You see what I'm saying? Like this is the robbery like that. Like you dealing with it in that regard. So when you see this amalgamation come around, what is this? Satan deceived the whole earth type situation? Like ain't the whole earth deceived? You don't know what to believe. Like, oh, okay, is Corona real? Is it not real? Is this going? Just simple stuff that's right in front of you. Like, this is right in front of you. Our ancients said end time prophecy. There'll be wars, rumors of war, pestilence, and all that. And you still trying to figure out what's going on. Like, yo, man, I don't understand, man. Like, when this stuff going back to normal, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, so you gotta laugh at it sometimes because it's bugged. You know, my elders used to be like, "You want to make God laugh? Tell him your plan." You understand what I'm saying? Like that, dad. Like, oh, that's what you got. You see what I'm saying? Like our ancestors telling us, like, yo, so like, that's what you want to do. Oh, my aunt told me, said she was like, I said, I'm gonna be one of these revolutionaries. She said, oh, you're gonna die young. They don't live long.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? She didn't say it from a spot like don't do it, blah blah blah. She said hey, like this is what I see. This is it. This was her look into what was going on. Like this is what you needed right here. Like this is what you want to do. You see what I'm saying? Because she had seen it already. She already had sight beyond sight. She already seen it already. She already lived through it. You see what I'm saying? So our ancestors
Right.
lived through time. Their end time. This is what their end time looked like. This is what their end time looked like before the cargo ships. You know, people call them slave ships, but there was no slaves on the ships. There wasn't even people on them. They were manifested as cargo. So they'll play games
Right.
with you, like they'll play games. Like let
Right.
me tell you how simple it is. They play games. They say, "Hey, you know what?
English.
You say a word like African American. You know, there's no standing in law for that, and it has a place for that where that makes sense. I understand. You say, well, you say you're American or you're Moorish American. They know what time it is. So then I say, where's Morocco? Northern Africa? Did you just not hear yourself say the same thing that you're telling people not to say? You're saying it. You're saying you're an African American. This is what you're saying. This is what you're telling people. You see what I'm saying? So it's like real simple. It's like 2 seconds. It ain't take no thought or nothing at all. Like you're saying the same thing. That's it. And a piece of paper ain't never stop a bullet. Ain't never stop a noose. Ain't
Right.
never stop a raping, a mutilation,
Mm-hmm.
being torn and quartered, tarred and feathered. A piece of paper. No, sir, I'm free. Look at my freedom papers right here. And it's all, read it. Read it to me. You understand what I'm saying? I said, read it to me. My master said I'm free. He gave me my freedom papers. Read them. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the game in regards to the psychology, and the only thing that'll keep you in a space where you're looking for liberation is your culture. That's innate in you. It's in you. That insurrection spirit is in you. And the situation bring them out. Ancestrally, you come from a people who fight. That's why you fight. It's not something you don't have to think about it. We got children. We got to teach the children how not to fight instead of teaching the children how to fight. They don't need no instruction manual for fighting. We need instruction manual for them not to be fighting. And they don't care what they got to do. They bite, they scratch, they kick, they pick up shit and throw it at them. You understand? They natural. No classes, no seminars, no workshops, no nothing. Like this is regular. It's on. Leave your brother alone. Leave your sister alone. Put him down. Stop throwing stuff. Stop biting and hitting. Like natural. The fight is there. You got to spend all of these years punishing natural inclination and then wonder why they soft. You done made them soft. You done made them that way. And they don't know what to do with their anger. They don't know what to do with their frustration. They don't know what to do with their transgenerational trauma. We done taught them how to be chumps and suckers and pacifists and, politically correct. All that shit. You see what I'm saying? And they say it's what's exactly on their mind. They open their mouth, boom, the truth come out. You be like, well, you have to watch what you say and how you say what you say to people because you might offend somebody and all that other shit. They do not give a fuck about your life. They do not give a fuck about your life. Like you talking to people that don't give a fuck about your life. They're there to use your life to live.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they ask you how you feeling all the time because if they could do that, they can mask and mimic with these buzzwords. So you think they're feeling. They don't feel. They don't feel. They're incapable. They're incapable of feeling. Now we can go through some shit and become numb, and we can feel like we don't feel no more. We numb to it. We desensitized to it. We don't have a sensation. That's the sense. You see what I'm saying? Like you don't have that feeling anymore. It's gone. It's a void there. So now you're dealing with something that doesn't know feel, that doesn't know morality, that doesn't know right from wrong. None of that. All in their mind that they know is they want everything to be dead like them. Up and down in the earth seeking whom they should devour. How then do we open these books and they describe them to a T? They describe their psychology. And our ancestors describe what happened every time we tried to go help one of these motherfuckers.
The rejected ones, yes.
Every time we try to go integrate with one of these motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? Like every single time.
Straight up rejects. Yes, straight up rejects. It's a fact.
You remember that scene? That's my scene in I Am Legend. I Can Save You. He pointed to that.
I was trying to save that. I was trying to save that white zombie. I was trying.
No, he pointed to that thing on the table and was like, "Look, see."
He was like, "No, you don't care about us."
Yeah, he didn't give a fuck about that thing. He was like, whatever. He just wanted to be the one to handle the business. So he was like, I can save you, tapping on the window with that grenade. He knew what it was at the end. This deliverance. Like, you are not going to be able to live anymore. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to cure, you don't want to be saved. You want to be delivered. You want to die. Let's go. Let me help you out with that. Got you. That's I Am Legend. That's the legend right there. Like, nah, nobody leaving this bitch. Nobody. You see what I'm saying? It's a wrap.
If I can't be on top, if I can't do things, everybody got to go. Yep. That's the
Gotta go.
mentality.
Grenade. Grenade.
Yep. That's the mentality.
Oh boy. A
You brought
spitball
up a
can
good
break up an
point.
entire
You said
crowd.
that we come from
Go ahead.
you brought up a good point about we come from a warring people. Now that's in now people would say that's negative knowledge. Like, why would you say that? Where they are warmongers, not us. That's negative. Don't say that. African people are docile and peaceful and blah
When you just
blah
and
blah
we
blah. You
didn't
don't
have
know what the hell you
and
talking about.
there's no
What
word for
what you
jail
say about that?
and there's no word and we just lived in and give thanks. We lived in and give thanks. Thanks. Let him ask for the knife. You know what I'm saying? Like they really paint this picture right there. Peace is the absence of confusion. You see what I'm saying? So when you speak from a position of authority, you are prepared to do what's necessary for the peace to continue. If there's an ailment in your body and it's messed up an extremity on your body beyond repair, in order to save your life, in order for peace to continue, that extremity will come off. When you apply a tourniquet, when the bleeding is coming so profusely that you would die, when you apply the tourniquet, that extremity is coming off. You're still alive. But one of those extremities, whatever that extremity is coming off. Whatever's on the other side of that tourniquet is coming off. So if it's above the knee or below the knee, whatever's after that, it's off. Whether it's above the joint or below the joint, whatever is under that tourniquet is coming off. This is your body's response. This is a natural response. The immune system is not watching your body be afflicted and attacked by foreign entities and pulling out their fucking smartphone and recording it like, oh man, look at that shit. World star. You understand what I'm saying? The sole
That
purpose
right
for the
there was planted. That right there was planted, and I'm gonna put that's a CIA program right there.
the
Word star. Just
sole
saying.
purpose of the immune system
Just saying.
is to always be on alert to
Yeah,
safeguard
huh?
the body.
Talk about it.
Safeguard
Yes.
the body. This is why it's only one sperm that makes it out of millions of sperm. Everything else gets destroyed along the way.
That's right.
These are foreign entities. You understand? So when you're dealing with a warring people, they're on the alert for foreign invasion. It don't matter if we look the same. In
There you
in
go.
the mind frame, in the mind frame,
Mm,
in the
mm.
mind frame, you are a protector of the body. You are the protector of the body. So you have a duty and responsibility to protect the body, to protect the mind, to protect the spirit, this communal spirit, this tribal spirit, this national spirit. There's no room for anybody else. It's not two bodies. It's one body. I'm telling you, that Shaka Zulu movie, that little training regiment that he put them 49 volunteers through, it showed you how this kind of thing forges a mind. There's not one person in that motherfucker thinking that they're not going to be a part of this maneuver. They thought it was a joke at first. By the end of that training, they was ready to run through anything in front of them. You understand?
No fear.
So the mind
Mm-hmm.
he was talking about was in combat, we are one mind. In battle, we are one mind. One, like one. It's not 50, it's one. You see what I'm saying? So that kind of grit changed the landscape of the battlefield. You understand? They call them warmonger. They call them bloodthirsty. There wasn't nobody fucking with them. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. Like that joke farmer tribe became the most lethal military that South Africa had ever seen, and still to this day, they never seen nobody like that.
Mm.
See what I'm saying? They talked about Kwame Nkrumah. They hated him. They ain't never seen another African like that man. They talked about Idi Amin. They ain't never seen an African like that man. Patrice Lumumba. They ain't never seen. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so when you see those ones that come along, they not fan favorites. All these Malcolm X shirts and T-shirts and quotes and this book changed my life and all that. If you was with him, you wouldn't have been with him.
this damn book.
You know,
Damn book
see what
again.
I'm saying? So the you know the books and all the and all that, right? They do all that you know right? Claim Malcolm X Day and all that. If he was here, you wouldn't be with him because he was here.
That's a fact.
In
That's a
another
fact.
body, in another body, he was here in another body again. He was Dr. Khaled. That's the insurrection spirit that passed from person to person, brother or sister. You wasn't with him.
What did George Jackson say?
You poisoned him and left him for dead. You poisoned him and left him for dead. See what I'm saying? That insurrection spirit, Papa Steve Copeland. Fearless. Right at it. Right to it. You understand? Like you see it come, boom, 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 boom. So now instead of one, there's millions now. Instead of one, there's millions. You don't get caught up on no one no more. Because they killing one. They taking one out. Take out some millions. Or he don't look like that, or she don't look like this. Or they don't have this kind of clothes on. They don't have this wardrobe on. Do they know how to get busy? Yes. Yes. Oh, they didn't go to this school and they didn't have this training. You don't need no training for that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, this look like the 60s. Who you think these people are? We get busy. We get busy. Like we a long line of people that stretch back millions of years, and for millions of years we've been getting busy. I don't know who these Johnny come latelys are. Get busy. They ain't never seen nothing like that.
1,000 children with machetes.
Yeah.
1,000 children with machetes ain't African. They'll tell you that. That's a lie.
You never seen that.
They will tell you that. That's not African. Yeah.
You see these young children speaking like they 70, 80 years old. They ready to get down. See what I'm saying? So they're like, all right. Yeah. Yeah, man. So,
and that's today in Africa.
It never changes. When you're dealing with an uninterrupted African mind, it's there. Like across the globe, you know, in other places, it's just again, it's no rice. Oh, no more rice. Okay, that's it. Like it ain't no big thing. Like, oh, you know, my life matter. None of that shit. It's like, hey, for real, no more rice, no more bread. That's it. Okay. They're coming back. They're not coming. They're not coming back. When they came earlier, they was just hungry. When they come back now, we know you got some more motherfucking bread in there, and we're coming to get it. You understand what I'm saying? So
Mm.
it's a change. It's a change. You see what I'm saying? Like it's that's it. Like you see this. If you got it, we coming to get it. It don't
Mm-hmm.
matter if we tired, if we hungry. Like our life don't mean nothing. That now when you in the situation when it's on, it don't matter if we die. You understand what I'm saying? We're gonna die from hunger, or we're gonna die trying to get food.
People never been hungry. They never been hungry before. So I don't want to talk to anybody who's never been starving before. They have no idea what that is.
And this is why cultures know that. Cultural
Mm-hmm.
safeguards are put in place with fasting and things like that because of that.
Right. Thank you. There you
You
go.
see what I'm saying? So you get used to going
There you go.
without.
Break that down. Right. That's
You
right.
you get used to
That's
going
right. Training
without.
your body to run
This
on
was
less. Right.
this was a gift. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at?
It take a lot of mind power.
It's in,
Okay, your
it's,
mind gotta be
yeah,
right.
one meal a day, one meal every 3 days.
Right.
You can't be tricked. You can be tortured. You can be hurt,
Right.
but you can't be tricked mentally. You can't be broken
Right.
mentally. You can go someplace else. These are all, mind frames. And if you got organization, back to that, if you got organizations, you want people to come in and there's no requirement, you have no people in your organization. You got a whole bunch of people that will destroy
Mm-hmm.
this organization from the inside out. They ain't went through nothing. No reason for them to be there.
Right.
It was an 80,000 man army that started from 50 people, and nobody was fucking with them. 80,000? What kind of mind frame you gotta have to be able to mobilize and move 80,000 troops? That video was probably like 500 people. 500 people wasn't
One
on the
who
same
gets
accord.
results.
You see what I'm saying? 500 people wasn't on the same accord.
Mhm.
You dealing with
Right.
an 80,000 man army. Nobody has their own thoughts.
When you got when you only have yourself, that's what happens. When you all you got is you, that's
I
what
seen it
happens.
change. I seen it shift. I seen it go automatically.
Hmm.
18 years old, out there in Harlem against the NYPD. I seen it change. I know it exists. I witnessed it. I've been in it. You don't need no instruction manual for that. Naturally, when the situation arises, if you able to get down, you will get down.
Hmm.
No questions asked. Ain't no amount of tear gas, no for your life, none of that greater than that moment that you in. When it's time to get down, you gonna get down. If it ain't in you, you ain't gonna get down. We're gonna bury your ass. That's it. That's it. You can't train that up. You could do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like Tyson said, everybody got a plan till they get punched in the face, or everybody got a plan till they get hit. Like, yeah, it sound good. You're going through the drills and all that, blah, blah, blah. When it's time, do you got it or you don't? Are you running towards it or are you running from it? This police shot Mike Brown and did not understand that he shot this man child all the time and Mike was still coming at him. He didn't know that. He didn't know that. They don't teach that in police academy. Why you think they shot Amadou Diallo so many times? They can't teach that. They reloaded. They reloaded and kept shooting him. Something in that man, he was not going to die. What's the guy that was jogging? Ahmad. Aubrey.
Mm-hmm.
He ran at that man. He was running from them people. They were
Right.
chasing him. They were hunting him, like you were saying
Hunting him.
earlier. They
Right.
were
Mm-hmm.
hunting him. We got hunters too.
Mm-hmm.
They were hunting him. We have
Right.
hunters too.
Mm-hmm.
We forgot how to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you got the
Right.
mind frame that you got, because you forgot how to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So yo, let some sucker shit creep into your heart. Like you ain't never had to get your own food. You ain't never been hungry before. You ain't never had to go get it. Going to the store ain't it. It's already made. It's ready. So they were hunting him. And when he got tired of running, he said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to die anyway. I'm going to die fighting.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Ahmad. Praiseworthy. Exalted.
All right now.
He ran at the man, the dog with the goddamn gun. A shotgun. Ran at him like nothing. You understand? Fighting with him.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect that. They expect you and calculate you to be marching with your fucking hands up. Saying hands up, don't shoot. They love that. That don't take no work at all. They love that. They don't want to see you advancing towards them, not in a straight line, in a zigzag. You can't calculate that. Can't calculate that. The straight line, yeah. This is how they was able to defeat the British with guerrilla warfare tactics that they try to frown on now, that the world uses against them.
Right.
Shooting from houses and taking off their uniforms. Cat Williams he said, show me what an insurgent uniform looks like. Don't worry, I'll wait. You understand what I'm saying? So look how clever he's able to craft that and put that in there. It's time for it to get down. How do you get down?
You don't know who is who.
Right. Right.
Until you dead.
He's dead. Boom. Ambush.
They
Catch him while they're in
white
the toilet.
Western society or Western thought, they say they make child soldiers a negative thing.
Right.
It's negative over here.
Because they got the ass kicked by them child soldiers everywhere they went. You seen that little part in Ghost Dog where he took the pipe and he shot him through the sink in his house?
Right.
Shot him in the head. He looked through his sink and all he seen was a red dot. That's the last thing he saw.
Right. They recognize that our children are soldiers, and that's written in their works in the 60s. What J. Edgar Hoover wrote it? Yeah, they recognize it. They know exactly what it is. We just don't know. We don't know it, but They know it.
They train them in their military academies, aka police academy, who the number one suspect is for crime.
You're right. They
They
have
teach them.
military academies for young children,
Yeah,
right? And but it's wrong when, yeah. See, yeah, the hypocrisy, right?
yeah, yeah. They
I
train
don't
them.
even call it hypocrisy. They just doing
They got
that
them out
because
there
they're
at
just
3 and
deceptive
4
as
years
hell. And
old with the rifles hunting. They got them out there.
mm-hmm,
They got them out there in the
right.
woods.
They raised from
They,
birth,
they raised from
right
birth.
here in
From birth.
America.
You can't tell whether
Right.
it's a male dog or a female dog. They shaved them heads up. They got them camouflage on them. All of
That's
that.
right. Talk about it. Animal hair, exactly.
Yeah, with that fur. They cut it and 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 cut it until it's curly. They do it. That's a natural thing
Right.
that they do. They
hmm
shave them heads until the curls come out, till that fur go away, till it's
Say
curly,
it
stringy
again.
fur. Yeah,
Right.
over and
Right in
over.
this country,
Yeah, brought up with
they raise their
camouflage
children to be
and
soldiers.
guns and camouflage and guns. Like that's it. That's
Right.
it. They're like there. Like you don't
Right.
even watch this shit unfold. Just desensitized. I don't want them playing with it because they might get killed. Like yeah, like that's a good concern. But that's not the concern. Like, yeah, like, yo, if they know how to handle that, they need to be ready.
Yeah, but they show you the child soldiers from Africa, and that's a negative thing. They will make movies saying that's how it's a bad thing, and they'll portray it
That's
as
wrong. You
child
see,
abuse, all kinds of things.
man,
Yeah.
how could you
hmm
do that? And it's the same motherfuckers who in charge of them militias, who fund them,
Right.
telling you on this
Right.
other side, showing you this shit like it's wrong. Like,
hmm
look at that
hmm
movie, man.
Yep.
What is it,
That's
man?
some
Lord of
manipulation.
War? Yeah, Lord of War. You go look at Lord of War.
hmm
Yeah, you look at Lord of
Which
War. He's
brings me, I
on.
wanted to ask you about that. Let me ask you about that. I've heard the claim that during slavery that they gave us the Bible and Jesus to make us compliant. So if we were already docile people, why would they need to do this? That's just a question I have.
We got a spirit of an insurrection. We don't got no docile spirit. That's the reason why they gave you the pictorial image. The pictorial image is a symbol. You could go back to the history and say, oh, okay, who is this in the painting and who made the painting and all that other shit. You won't have to do that. You don't have to do that. It's right there. It's no different than if you at your job and one of these crackers walk in, people start whispering now.
hmm
It's the same authority. The image is a symbol of occupation. So if you in a spot, where did this dude come from? Like if you even going with that narrative right there, were the people in that time in captivity or were they free? They was in captivity. And they was
hmm
living good in captivity. Long as they paid their fucking taxes, they was good. They was in captivity. So here come someone with an insurrection spirit. That's a fucking problem. They gotta get rid of that. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
when we gather together, not like when we gather together now. When we gathered together, there was an insurrection spirit that came off of us naturally. You see what I'm saying? When we gathered together,
Right.
revolution took place. Exodus took place. All of it took place when we gathered together in that spirit. So When they figured out how the fuck is this word getting out, and how are these 200 or more insurrections that are happening to take place? Oh shit! They're meeting together. And from them meeting together, they sending messages and codes on days and times when it's time to attack. So now, anytime we meet together, there got to be a devil amongst us. So the devil will come to the meetings. So every time we met together, the devil would be present in the meeting. So we would have to use code. So now, when you no longer have the physical person there or the physical thing there, you have the symbol, like you watching, waiting to report. So that symbol causes in the psychology when you hear about acts of sedition or insurrection, you feel weak hearted by this symbol, and you go tell. You go tell. There was cats that used to come to meetings, and I'm saying meetings and not saying church, because this is a meeting. This ain't church. You see what I'm saying? So people will come to meetings and gatherings where we are and write down license plates and turn them into the police. What you think this cop watch cop 1-800 Crime Stoppers tip line shit came from? So if we were always planning something and always moving on something, are we docile or are we a determined fighting force? They got to make you appear a certain kind of way. They got to use crafty techniques to show you only the Selma Bridge and not nothing before it.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? They got to show you this. You, the letters from the prison. You heard Dr. King. You read Dr. King talking about how they had mastered the tear gas and the police dogs. You don't sound like punks to you?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And children
Yep.
was out there. You see what I'm saying?
Had to go
And
harder.
the children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Do you think a docile people, if they wasn't worried about black folk, that they would go to this church and put dynamite in the church if everything was peaceful?
Mm-hmm.
We know how
That's right.
escalation of force goes. A
Mm-hmm.
stick for a stick, a rock for a rock, a knife for a knife, a gun for a gun. If somebody has a stick, I'm not going to use a grenade. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So unarmed people versus armed people, this was the equalizer. That meant that they couldn't beat you with their hands. They had to use a weapon. If it was
Mm-hmm.
just fist to fist, your ass is done for. So, as Dr. Francis Cress Welton called this gun the great equalizer. So now this levels the playing field for them. And it unlevels the playing field for us if you're worried about that gun. If you ain't worried about that gun, it's all hell to pay. So this whole symbolic psychological mind job that they show and say, oh, they gave you this, they gave you that. You see what I'm saying? Those are people that are playing for the other team. Those are people who don't want to win. And that's the excuse. That's the cop out. They ain't ready to win. They're not prepared to change, and they ain't ready to set off nothing. You know what I'm saying? Mob Deep said, "You
Who?
ain't gonna kill nothing or let nothing die. You ain't gonna kill nothing, let nothing die.
Who?
These chumps who
Who
got
ain't ready to win?
these cats who got something to say about what our ancestors left us.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't know what winning is. They don't know what to win is. First of all, they don't even. First, they need to understand what that is. Uh, because my definition of winning is totally different. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Um, but yeah, but that's the claim. The claim is that they were peaceful, docile people. So why would they need to
Yeah.
change psychology of a people if that
Yes.
were
Give
true?
thanks. Give thanks. Yes. Yes.
Peace,
Oh, you.
peace,
Oh,
the
you want my.
verb to become
You want.
still or silent.
You want my. You want my wife? Oh yeah, you can. You can. You want my children too? You, you can. Give. Give
Yeah,
thanks.
just go ahead.
I'm not in need. I'm not in need. You
Pe-
make.
They lie. They lie. They are peaceful people to become or become still or silent, to refrain from or cease speaking, to keep quiet.
To become.
Uh,
That's, that's a process,
yeah.
right? Become like that's the key
Hmm.
word. You know,
Hmm. That's
how
the
do you
word,
bring
right?
silence
Hmm.
to a place? Like you have to command that silence is there when you're around.
Right. Right.
Be all kind of
Right.
shit going
Peace,
on.
the adjective. Peaceful, quiet, silent, confidential, unmentioned, unmentioned. This word peace is evil. Okay, it's an English word. It's evil as hell. Unmentioned.
Yeah,
And then we have the noun freedom from civil unrest or disorder, public order and security. So if we
yeah,
were at peace, that means that we drop the hammer down on our own people. Like, look, ain't gonna start none, won't be none. Okay, there's some order, like how you said.
right.
But according to some people, that order just didn't exist. We were just uh, flower children sitting around and singing and
Right.
nothing. Just being free and you know, that's what
Give,
happened.
give thanks.
There's four definitions for peace, and then they break it down to peaceability, peaceable kingdom, peaceableness, peaceably. Good Lord. Like, really? This is annoying. Bastardized language means a mixie, a language of confusion. Okay?
A confound
Just
tongue.
saying. Right. Yeah, there you go. So when they say bastardized, it's not that lie they tell. Oh, a bastard is a person made out of wedlock or out of incest or no, that's not what that means. They lie. They change the definitions to things. It means, and when people speak, the original words for it's a mixy language, and it's a piece of work. It's just I see why it's one of the hardest languages to learn because it's full of confusion. A peace breaker, a person who violates peace or stirs up strife, a disputatious or quarrelsome person, a person who commits a breach of the peace, a violator of public order. So if there's peace, there's a peace breaker. So I'm gonna just put that out there and leave it right there. There's a word for what they do. It's right here. breach of peace, a violator, a quarrelsome person. That's not a warring person. That is not the same thing as a warring person. That's different. Let me see, warring and war. And I'm getting, this is their definitions. They're telling themselves. War, the verb. So the war is to make war upon. Obviously. And then there's another one, another verb for this word. What does this say? Oh, I can't. It meant something else. I have to laugh at this. This is total and utter confusion. Now look at this. Warring, the noun, right? We use the word warring. They use the word warring, and there's no definition for it. That's funny to me. But it's used in a negative way. And that's the noun for it. So that makes or carries on war, that contends in war, that contends in warfare. So how is this negative? I don't understand how this is negative. Unless we look at the word warfare, because I'm still trying to find the negative part. If you have a peace breaker, you go to war. I think that's a good thing. Okay, warfare. The noun. See how this is a going to war, the action of carrying or engaging in war, the act or state of conflict, military life or service. Now,
tell them they're gonna have to get the rest at the lecture. They're gonna have to
oh my
come to the
God,
lecture and get the rest.
this is crazy. Like, I mean, it's, man. Now you see why a lot of us are confused. I mean, even their own people confused. But it is what it is. I just find that to be profound. Like they say, the book is bad because
they're going to have to come to the lecture.
Yeah, the book is
enough
bad
for these scriptures. Can't handle the truth. TRUF, truth. You tell them you can't handle the truth.
If you chilling in your yard, I mean, you sunbathing, because this is what I do. Be chilling, and somebody come walking up on you and starting some nonsense. A stranger comes, or it don't even have to be a stranger. It could be somebody in your family coming and starting some mess with you. You in a peaceful state or whatever. Right. Unmentioned and quiet, and they come beefing with you. What you gonna do? You gonna let them scream in your ear?
Somebody come in the room and cut the fucking light on. You ready for war?
Yeah. This is what I want. You gonna let them? Come on, man.
Regular.
Look. Somebody touch my food. It's over. I'm just telling you now. Do not put your fingers on do not touch my plate. Like, don't do it. That's a fight right there. So I'm just saying.
Peace breaker.
Them babies was marching, and women, I mean, they were marching with machetes. I was like, look at those machetes. Like, wow. Maybe they thought it was like props or something. That's probably why they didn't say anything. Nobody mentioned it, but it was real. I saw it. I had to stop it and bring it back. Like, wait a minute. Are those machetes? Forget a firearm. They cutting you up in pieces. Whoa. That made me happy. That one made me happy. But yeah. I mean, after midnight, and it was serious.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, You know, I was kind of ranting, trying to,
It was fun.
I let me read this real quick. Now, African American is not a race. Some people, it's not even an ethnicity. I think this is the best way, from what I'm reading here, is the best way to define what it is. And it says African Americans are bound by common history, suffered a common disaster in slavery, the zenith of discrimination, insult, and oppression that remain rooted in the memory of the Negro. And
the Negro.
That was in that Du Bois book. Right. So this is what that means. It is not an ethnicity. It is not a race, people. It's just not. It is something we all share the same experience. All right, that's not a people, and that's the problem. So you have to change. We have to change that. We have to change that. We are the unmentioned. Like man. I mean, the definition of words, these English words. I mean, it's not by accident. These people know what they're doing. They're crafty as hell. When the scriptures say they're crafty, and they're crafty as hell. You could be wise to do good, but you could be wise to do evil. The scriptures tell you that. Everything goes both ways. So if you at peace, guess what? One day you're going to have to fight. And that's just a fact, right?
Sure.
I used to get in fights with my brothers when I was little. You know, all the time. It used to get on my nerves. But that should be a good
Supposed to rap.
lecture you got going. No,
yeah,
it's a rap. Repeat that
we got going
one.
on. The one we got going on. Which one?
Yeah,
the
first
one.
Yeah, the first one.
The psychological detriment of humanizing your enemies.
Right. That one got to be dealt with first, I think. I think.
I was watching the Karate Kid. You know what I'm saying? I was watching the Karate Kid Part 1. Hey, they had them.
Wax off. Mm-hmm.
They had them motherfuckers in the Cobra Kai. They was ready. Okay. That Cobra Kai dojo, it was no game to be played. It wasn't none of that. They didn't give a fuck. Like they was like, you know.
And you know how I know that to be true? Mr. Miyagi walked out his face towards the dojo. Right. He went out, like his back towards the door. He went out the door. He knew. Right. He said it. Right. That's how you know.
Yeah,
you don't take your eyes off your opponent.
Yeah, never.
Yeah, like these people, they're not be messed with.
Yeah.
Oh, and I did want to mention, because you brought up the Golden Child. When you were speaking in your speech just now. Right.
Please.
Now, Buddhist monks are trained killers. Ancient times. I don't know if they still train today, but I just want to put that out there. Right. The end. You think they up in the mountains sitting there? No, you go carry yourself up there in Bhutan and try to go up into their ashrams and monasteries if you want to. So just putting that out there. They're the most peaceful people, right? Aren't they into Buddhism is about that whole peaceful thing, and then nirvana and all that's connected, and it's always about peace and being settled and being grounded and stuff, but they will kick your behind. Okay? Just saying. And that goes along with the martial arts, right?
What that little boy saying, Minister Society? I kick your ass. Hey, he ain't need no instruction manual. He told K that he said, I kick your ass. Oh, snap.
That is so funny. Oh my God. I forgot about that. But you just brought it back for me.
I kick your ass. Yeah.
Now look at here. Look at here. Look at here. Look at here. African philosophy of education is confined to written text only, as much of the discourse is also reported through oral tradition. You got to go talk to people. You got to go talk to people. Did I not just say that? And I just randomly picked up this book just now.
Yeah. They got to come to the lecture. They can't no more.
They got to come to the lecture.
Yeah. $1,000.
Right, so that was only a little tidbit.
Yeah, so, you know,
I told you, look, Torah onlys don't make no dough, man. The brother said today, if I want to make a quick buck, I need to go call on, I need to go see Jesus for a minute, after you come back to the Torah. That's what you're going to have to do. Yeah.
Won't he do it?
No, the people don't want the truth.
Won't he do it? No, he won't. Won't he do it? No, he won't.
No, he won't.
No, he won't.
All right, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Let's see.
It's a wrap. Hey, Mookie, stay black.
What's up with the white?
I really need to get that T-shirt for real, because I've been saying it. I've been saying this for the past month. Hey, Mookie, stay black, and people be getting chuckle out of it, but I mean it, and I mean it. When I'm out there. But all right, but I'm gonna end it. Shalom.